All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging in there. Let's get going on where I was and where we picked that up. So I was just going through those of you just come on akashxlaunch.com, and important, even if you're well seasoned into Akash, definitely go through these steps. They're really good onboarding steps, and they were put there by the educators in Akash so that everybody is on the same page. So by the time they actually go and, as we say, start the car, you get a brand new car, you go through your lessons first before you can go on the road. But these are your lessons before you go on the road. And hopefully do not kill yourself on the highway kind of thing, right? So it's really important to get the basics down packed. So let me go into Akash, and we're going to look at, you know, let me look at the chat. I know I think Paulette wrote something earlier. Want to learn how to set up all the take profit. Just go through it. Okay, fine. So that's cool. So what we're going to do, let's log in, okay? Because it all starts. We've got a great app, we've got a great website, and it all starts from here. So without obviously going in, getting these trade alerts or tap to trade from these traders, then obviously we want to be able to see it through and make money as we go, right? So let me log in here and I'll show you my methodology when I look at this stuff. And this is no different from what I started on from the other day. All right, so let's just kind of quickly look at this stuff here. All right, so we got to trade alerts. We're going to look at some of these trade alerts. We had one incoming 28 minutes ago. We would have been able to look at that if I didn't have the issues I had. We'll look at that, possibly look at that anyway, depending on what it's done and where it stands. We could have a quick look at that. Tap to trade, of course. I think one came in whilst I was rebooting from Joel. Again, as you know, Joel is on the lead, like on the chart, man. He's taking over the whole page. So he does, as you know, a lot of trades in gold, but he also, has a unique way in which he trades, which is really important. That I'm gonna talk about that on this call. How he sets his risk management up so that when you are trading with Joel, you are making sure your risk management is set correctly. Because that video I mentioned in the launch, Akashx launch about risk management is really key. I think it should be maybe one of the first videos in any case on looking at all this stuff, because without proper risk, I don't even know where it is now. Without proper risk management, you're not gonna survive in this game. I think it's under here. Risk management, yeah, this one here. So without that proper risk management, you're not going to survive, without a doubt. Whatever strategy is out there, it's almost irrelevant if you don't have an account to trade with. So this is really important. And Joel has his way of doing with risk management. So I want to look at that as well. In fact, let's just go there real quick. So if you go to live sessions, pick up the educator, and just go to Joel here, and we can see what he does. So this video under here. Now, if you go on any of Joel's live sessions, the first 30 minutes are in Spanish, Espanol, and then he goes into the English part, right? So this is the actual stream 126, I believe, where he goes into his risk management. So it was really important video to watch there. I thought it was stream 126, but it's 125. All right, so that's the one there. TTT plan, okay? Really important to watch alongside your education of trading and looking at the markets, okay? So let us look at these trades that we get. And again, I've just seen looking at how to set and take profit. So let's just look at some alerts. We had the last alert here coming from Joel, right? And he's got five different, not five, he's got four different TPs on that trade, and five TPs and five TPs. So, and depending on the trader, they may not do all TPs. But I want to look at. Let me see what's the latest one, the last one. Okay, there's got a variety of there. You've got Bitcoin trades, pound. Typically the pound trades guides. We've got this guy here. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but he seems to be very proficient in his trades. So he's not necessarily on our list of traders, but I believe he came to the company maybe a month ago. And from what we're seeing, he's got a really good win ratio. So again, you can check him out. Is either on his recording. Obviously, if he goes live on a session, you trade with him. But he typically does these buy sell limits trades on the currency pairs. So pound, Swiss, pound, Aussie, New Zealand, Swiss, pound, dollar. So you're going to see a lot of his trades populate. And then Joel is the trader that we follow with gold. So again, with Joel, he has a very big stop, and which is what I posted in the group. And this is what he recommends when you're watching his video. Definitely watch that video. He talks about reducing, your stop by half. So if your risk management is normally 0.25, half it when you're taking Joel's trades. That should be like the done thing. And obviously, if you do more than one TP, you need to then factor that in. All right. So we'll look at that in an example in a few minutes. And so that's just for those when you're doing the trade alerts, when you're copy and pasting those trade alerts. All right. And I'll show you that in a second. Of course, tap to trade, when those come in, you have literally 2 minutes to approve those trades. And once they're approved, all of the stop, everything else is done for you. And if you want to watch, you want to keep an eye on how they're trading, you can do that and follow it through from what Joel's doing, okay? Or whoever, once you place a trade, you can start monitoring it and seeing how the trade is going and how it's working out for yourself, okay? So let's just have a look here. I want to look at the scanners that we have, first and foremost. Actually, before the scanners, let me just look at the tools we have. So if you scroll down, and I would like to look at this just as a 5 minute thing, all right? When you're setting up like like a pilot, they do their checks, right? Before they go straight head into the air, there's lots of checks that go on, lots of checks way before they even take off. Safety, okay? So these are just kind of safety checks before you go into the market, before you drive your car. You don't always go around, kick the tires and make sure, everything's at the right level. It's pretty much done and dusted. But obviously something like an airplane, it's going to be in the air for hours at a time, carrying many people. There's lots of safety checks. So this is just my safety check if I'm going to start trading and looking at the markets and not going blind. The last thing I want to be is blindsided as to what might be going on. So we have these under the tool section. First thing is really important that you know what is happening before it happens. Okay. And that's where we go. I'm not going to follow, pay attention more in the crypto calendar. It's really more the economic calendar when we're trading foreign exchange, trading currency pairs, gold, all these different things. I want to know what is going to happen that can affect the market, that's going to move the market. All right. So first things first, I'm going to look at the events. In fact, I'm going to put a filter in. So I don't want to know every single, because there's loads of news announcements that don't do squat to the market. I'm only interested in what we call red folder. These are ones that have got the most volatility, and we want volatility. We live and breathe and make money through volatility. Being on the right side of volatility, you don't want to be on the wrong side of it, because you could have a nice trade and you're in profit, and then next thing you know, the trader's wiped you out and taken and hit stop loss. And that could be because there's a news announcement. Now, this morning or this afternoon, if you're out overseas, we had one of the biggest news releases of the month, non-farm payroll. And a lot of times, depending on the figures, what they forecast, could have a really massive move to the market. Now, I was looking at the market. I was doing some gold trading. I think I posted what some of the trade the gold trade I was looking at, and I'll look at that with you guys in a minute. But the first things we're going to look at is that the forecast didn't wasn't worse. So in fact, let me see. There's a couple of different forecasts here. Average hourly earnings. Typically, if they forecast a number and the number is the same, it could still have a bit of an effect. But if it's massively different, could really move the market. Now, they had a forecast on the what we call NFP, non-farm payroll. This is really looking at how many jobs have been created outside of the agricultural market. And it's really a sign if the market is contracting or subtracting. Okay. Really key barometer. And so this is important. Obviously, this is the first one of the year. So, depending on how that planned out and the actual numbers was higher than what they forecasted. So it should boost, it should be, giving you a bullish direction or bias. It's not always that black and white. Just because the numbers were higher than they expected doesn't mean automatically we're going to get, the dollar is going to be strong. And then, you can do buy trades on all the dollar pairs. You still need to look at the price rules, and we're going to look at price, just some basic price stuff. Whether you want to be a trader or not, just some basic structure stuff so that you get an idea. If you're starting to look at trades and you get trade alerts coming in, you can then see, oh, did it actually, is it something I want to take, or should I wait until this happens before I go into that trade kind of thing? As your own bit of confirmation, we've got some great tools here. And obviously Canadian news also came out at the same time. So around 8:30 this morning, 1:30 in the UK, there was a lot of volatility going on. So I don't know if any of you guys were in trades at that time. Let me know and how it went or whatever you might have taken. Okay, and so if we want to look for the week, we'll look for next week. We can see from Tuesday afternoon, we've got news releases coming out, and then from Wednesday and stuff like that. This is great. I'm actually in the UK next week, so a lot of these pound news releases, I'm going to start obviously looking at and taking myself. So we got an idea. So Mondays are kind of one of those days where whether you trade it or not, it's not the most important. Ideally, we don't look to necessarily trade the first session on a Monday, which is the London session, but then the New York session onwards, the markets has had a chance to settle down, and now we've got movement happening. Same way on a Friday. Friday. Listen, this is the weekend, right? After let me go to this week. After NFP, this morning for us, it's afternoon in the UK. By midday, the markets are done. Like for me, I'm done pretty much after midday. I'm not looking to necessarily do massive trades at all. In fact, I would just be done. Something like today, for example, where there's a lot of trades typically taking place, then those would have been enough. And then, it's wind down time. It's the weekend. People want to start the weekend early. And so, that's exactly what we're going to see. There's just going to be retail traders trading right up until 5 p.m. But the big liquidity is going to be gone from the market. All right. So that's the first thing that you guys can look at is the calendar. Takes a minute to see what's going on, especially for the week. Now the week is not set in stone. They may so you come here and it says this week, next week, for example, nothing's going on Monday, and we've got two. Now by next week rolling around, there may be another news release coming in here. There may be a speech from a prime minister or something that could move the market, a governor, whatever the case may be. So always have a look on what's happening on the day. Again, it takes a minute. Once you've logged in and you're looking at trade alerts, just look at the calendar and see what might be something around that time could be worth moving the market. And so you can position yourself in that regard. Okay. So let us go from here. I'm going to now hand in hand, right? Hand in hand, calendar, financial news. Again, I want to just quickly glance over and see what might be the big ones. Okay, they're talking about the S&P 500, Bitcoin. What else there? Crypto valuation, anything else? Bitcoin. Okay, obviously, the inflation, US dollar strengthens amid concerns about the December jobs report. So again, just some highlights that we're going to look at. Now, two tools that are really important. Your currency strength meter, which kind of gives a bias of where we are, what assets. If you're trading different currency pairs, these are, $1, the dollar against the yen or the pound against the loonie or whatever. You want to see whatever currency pairs you might be looking at to trade yourself, which ones are the most strongest pairs to look at. And so we can clearly see here, Aussie is pretty weak, yen is pretty strong. But this session we're in right now, it's a New York session. So we're not necessarily looking to do a pairing between these Aussie pairs because they're in a different time zone. So you're really going to trade the pairs based on the asset class that they belong to. So because we're in the New York session, we're going to be focusing more on dollar pairs, US dollar, a Canadian dollar, and the pairings that they come in with. And gold, of course, because gold is, traded against the US dollar. So for me, I like the trend analysis, right? A lot. So the trend is just going to show me not just one asset, it's going to show me the pair that I might want to look at. So it's telling me, all right, pound dollar, downtrend. That means the dollar is strong and the pound is weak, which is great. So now we know we're looking at downtrend, and we'll look at that in a second. All right. Um, we'll look at pound yen. So again, the pound pair, pound is weak. So you saw the yen was strong earlier, the dollar being the opposite of that, showing that it's in a strong downtrend. So that means the dollar is strong, the yen is strong, and the pound is weak. So those are kind of where we can start to direct our focus. Now, the crypto space, I do like to see at least 5 minute, 15 minute. This is an hour. Like to see strong bias going forward. Maybe earlier today in the morning, we had more of a strong uptrend, downtrend. At the moment, it's a pretty not interested. I'm not interested in these crypto pairs whatsoever. Um, the stocks are showing strong strength on Apple, well, weakness, sorry, in Apple, Netflix, and AMD. Those are pretty. And in silver, we don't typically trade silver, but gold is in an uptrend. And so again, I like to see it strong in a 5, but overall 2 out of 3, and they're still on a strong uptrend. We've got that going for us. And let's look at one more thing. Indices. So again, we don't see all the indices. Like it doesn't show you NAS here, for example. But it shows different indices, and we can look at whichever pairing that makes sense to look at from there. All right, so that's what we got to look at real quick. We can just kind of get a look at, again, this is all in my checks. Let me just quickly check. Okay, the euro dollar strong, pound dollar definitely the strongest out of them. And we can start looking at that. So let me go and get into that. I just want to check something on my chart here, guys. Okay, cool. So first thing first, one of the apps they talk about is TradingView. So I'm gonna go into TradingView. Should I go TradingView first, or should I do this first? All right, one more thing. While I'm in tools and under the scanners, let me go here first, and then I'll go to the actual charts. So Smart Cash is, and there's lots of different scanners, right? Probably one of the most straightforward ones I like to use is or look at is Smart Cash. Okay, and so with Smart Cash, you can go in here and literally start to look at trade setups yourself. We talk about, okay, how about going into the markets and looking at opportunities for you to trade. And I didn't want that screen on there. Just move that off. And opportunities for you to trade. So this is where the scanners come in. So we saw earlier, just by looking at the currency strength, this is again just putting on layers. We're adding layers to our case. Again, I like things that just make logical sense when I do something to say, okay, should I be looking at this, or is it just noise? So let's have a look. I'm just going to do this on currency pairs to start with. and then I'm going to look at what most of us will get trade alerts on, which is gold and some Bitcoin alerts, right? So first thing is Forex. If I look at strength, again, best pairings on that, and I click on, I'll look on the 15 minute. So let's have a look. I want to see. Now we heard there was a pound. We saw the pound was weak, so we can see pound Aussie is one of the pairings where pound against the Aussie is a pairing where we can look for sales. This is on a 15 minutes, like my short time frame. We did actually see pound dollar. I want to see where pound dollar is. Yeah, we see that 15 minutes. That was 3 hours ago, which is around the time when the market opened, New York market opens. We saw we had a sell here. So this backs up exactly what I was mentioning earlier. So this is, and again, you want to learn this strategy. There's a 15-minute video you can learn about this. But I'm just building my case. So my first case is I go in here, I look at the calendar. I want to know what's going on. The news on the dollar. So I know, okay, the dollar is going to be some dollars either going to be strong or it's going to be weak. That's the one I want to put my eyeballs on. Then I want to look at this trend, which is telling me what should I look at out of all of the different currency pairs. There's 28 different currency pairings that you can select. Which ones are the one I want to be looking at that's going to help me make the best decision to trade? Okay, and so let me look on the scanner. So if I go to the scanner now, this is on a 15-minute. We'll look at the different ones. 5 minutes. This is where you're really scalping. You're really going low on the time frame, right? You're really scalping the market, and you're in and out like pretty much like a ninja, right? That's kind of where you go with scalping trades. And so this is just my methodology on scalps and anything that moves the market. We're gonna look at NFP and what happens when a news release comes out. And it's just like an impact. I know I'm talking about cars and vehicles and stuff, because I like to really liken it to real world things that are going on. Because without that, then it's just like you're not really, it does. I find I like to just liken it to something that makes sense for me. So this candle here, I can't see the time frame on it. No, it doesn't show the time frame at the bottom. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Of course, it does. Right, can you see here, 8:30? This is quite clear that this is my non-farm payroll candle that came out, right? So there's two ways of really dealing with non-farm. Is 5 minute. This is like ultra scalping. Now, the way this strategy works is that we have this cloud. It's green for buys, and anything below it, we're looking for sells. We have these two lines. These lines kind of give you an idea of which directional bias. And we have the red showing here. So the cloud almost gives you a a future of where the market may be going, right? So it gives you this Ichimoku cloud, the powerful asset, powerful indicator, I should say, and it kind of gives you an idea of where the market is going. And so you're not kind of going in blindly. You kind of like know where you should be entering, or what direction. So we really know pound dollar on a whole is a sell, right? We know that. And 3 hours ago, we got an alert on that. Now, if I look at the 15-minute, and I do let me just put 15 minutes up here. So there's three different time frames. So the 15-minute, you can see probably a bit more cleaner, and then the hour. So each candle is representing 15 minutes. Before, each candle was representing 5 minutes, and each candle now is representing an hour. Okay, so if we did a search here on an hour, let me just do a filter. Click apply, and we looked at that. So these are on an hour time frame. If I look at my pound dollar trade, for example, it show down here. So we had a sell. So you look at this. We had a sell on the pound dollar 2 days ago on an hour time frame. Okay. So again, that's more what we call when you're holding the trade, swing trading, and you're letting that run. That's 2 days ago. Okay. We got a trade alert. on an out. Sorry, this is pound CAD. Sorry, pound dollar. Where am I going? Pound dollar. Let me click on it. All right, so that's pound dollar on an hour time frame. So we got the alert literally 2 days ago. If I go back enough. All right, so you can see the trade is right there. The higher time frame you go, my friends, is you get a better level of entry. All right, in the market. The lower you go, of course, we're getting closer to today's trade. We're going to see exactly the difference here. But you can see here we've got a sell from, so this market has been selling 2 days from 2 days ago. And normally what happens is, and there's indicators that can show you this in better clarity, is that the middle of the month, the middle of the week, sorry, it's you get like a frame of where the market's going. So we go from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we can see a directional change of where the market could be heading. So by us having like a big on a this would have been Wednesday, and Wednesday we had a news release. Let's go back to the news release, guys, because this is, as I'm painting this picture, we're going to go into trades, we're going to go granular. But if you look at the bigger scope of what's going on, then it helps you just understand rather than just trading what you see. You kind of get a bigger picture of what's led up to us taking sell trades today, or what's made us make buy trades for the rest of the week, and things of that nature. So I want to go to the calendar real quick, and I just want to check what happened, or was there any news? Let's see. So we go to calendar, economic calendar, and I want to go to the maximum. Like I said, I'm looking for high impact guys only. Nothing, nothing silly, because otherwise you'll be literally um every single every single thing that you'll see will show, and we're not interested in that. We're looking in high impact news. So Wednesday, can you see what I see? Anybody can post in the chat what happened on Wednesday. This was exactly what the last call I did, or two times before the last call I did. I mentioned something that moved the market in a big way. Anybody got any idea from what you can see on the screen? There's three different news releases. One at 8:15, and again, these are huge news releases, guys. One at 8:30 and one at 2 o'clock. All on the dollar. Do I get any takers? Guys, there's no right or wrong answer here. I just want to see if you guys are still alive and paying attention. All right, I'm not seeing anybody saying anything there. Okay, so not to labor the point. Any one of these is big news, but FOMC meeting, that is a real big mover of the market. Okay, and so when we got this news release at 2 o'clock, let me just go back to the chart. Let me go back to the scanner. Then you can kind of see, and again, these all different scanners that one can use, but I do like this one. We're gonna look at the 2 hour time frame, and we're gonna see, so on the hour time frame, because the FOMC affects the US dollar, we need to look at what is going to happen on that pairing. So again, I'm doing a filter, just filter for Forex right now. And then we're going to go in. I just want to show you how, just using the scanners, getting yourself familiar, if you want to start doing this stuff on your own terms, how powerful this stuff is. So have I gone too far? Pound dollar. Just go back to my example. And so guys, none of this is cherry picked. I literally went to the Akashx. I looked at, what is good, what is strong. And if I look at the time, if I scroll this down a bit, I can look at the time frame. In fact, my settings for my time, I cannot see if I'm in the right time zone. 12 o'clock. Yeah, that's perfect. I am. Okay. So, okay. That's 8. 8 was, yeah, on Wednesday. All right. And it's 12. It's 12 o'clock now. Perfect. Okay, cool. Make sure my but I'm on time. So we had, even before in the London session, we had, this is when the sell kicked off. Okay. And then later on, as the news came out in the New York session, the dollar just literally started to tank. So um, FOMC didn't go crazy straight away, but it literally pushed the snowball effect. It made the dollar continue to drop further. So we can see from a higher time frame, the trend. The trend is our friend. So we're looking for the trend of where the market's going, and we can see clearly that we're going short, we're going down the market. Yeah, we can see pound dollar showing there, pound yen is in a sell. Well, we're looking at more dollar pairs. Any other dollar pair to you can see here euro dollar is also doing the same thing. So the more of these we can see. So let's just go now to today's time frame. Okay, so overall, okay, hold on 1 second, guys. Need to pause the recording real quick, resume recording. Okay, guys, so I just wanted to build the case study as to, when we're looking at these charts. So, because it's great, we're getting a lot of great signals coming through. But let's look at where these trades are taking us, right? So, smart cash, let me just drop to on a 5 minute. I'm going to go to the 5 minute time frame and let's see what happens for real. So, this is the massive candle that dropped, right? And we had this move. This is non-farm payroll. That candle basically is setting us up for us to take a sell trade, but we wait for the move to play out. And I'm going to show you how you can even make this even more powerful. Anything like a news release, and depending on your trading account, will have different connotations. Some of you have news releases, news feature as part of your package, and some of you don't. So it will just depends on what package you have. Because if you're trading the news dead on 8:30 and you haven't got that, then that trade may not be valid, and they may not allow you to have that. I'm having trouble logging into my Trident account, so I'm going to show you this in a second. So we've got this pound dollar trade. The news came out. News is going to do what it does. We have this move pullback until it literally drops again. So I don't know if I can show you. I can't really show you on this. I'm going to show you on Trading View exactly what I mean with this same trade. But I'm going to show you also. Let's just look at commodities. I want to show you this move on gold. So 3 hours ago we had buy trades on gold. I'm going to do the same thing on gold, guys. I want to look at an hour time frame. So 17 hours ago, we had gold, a buy trade on gold. So let's have a look at that. We know we trade gold a lot. Now, so if you're looking at this, my friends, there's no way in the world we should be I want to get some feedback on this. It's really important that as I'm explaining this, that I want to get your opinion on it as well. Okay. When we're looking at trend, anything in above this green cloud, we're looking for buys only, right? Anything below it, if it was below the cloud, and we have to go back a little bit before, and what date was this before we started to? This was in December, where we were looking at like the last couple of days in December, where the market was pretty much closed for the most part, and then gold dropped below, and we were looking more for sell trades. But since the market's come back, which is really from the 6th onwards, okay, we've been looking at buy. We're looking at buy in the market. Okay, so we have a lot of trades that we know on gold, and it's fantastic. So get some feedback here. Would you take any buy trades if you had a signal come out and you looked at this chart and you had a sell trade? Would you take that trade if you had a choice? And somebody else sent a buy trade, and somebody else an hour later did a sell trade. Now, based on their strategy, They may do counter trend trading and stuff like that. But for the most part, you want to go with the trend. Okay. The trend is your friend. So you want to be going with it as opposed to against it. So we're only looking for buy trades. Okay. And we saw here, we had, just on this scanner, we got buy alert there, we got buy alert here. So again, if you could just eyeball this yourself, so when you're taking these trades, you'll be like, okay, yeah, I'm taking buy trades. When these trade alerts come out, yeah, we're in buys. We're definitely in buy trades. Not to say you can't get massive something like this. This is non-farm, guys. Yeah. Um, this is where the market opens. New York, 8:30. This is non-farm. So this could wipe you out. You could be really in a nice trade here, and then 8:30 comes, and then boom, your stop is hit. So, like I showed earlier, once the news settles, you can go in. So let's just drop it to a 5 minute. Now that we know we're definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, we're in buy trades, let's drop to a 5 minute. And again, 3 hours ago, we know non-farm payroll came out and we're looking for buy trades. So, whoops. So here we go. Here we go. All right. So if I look at the time on this, so this was 8:30. All right. So 8:30 came out and this happened. It took out anybody who was looking to short the market, which is basically going short, going selling the market. Okay. We know earlier, right? We know different. We know we're not going to take no short trades, even if this thing is coming up saying short, short, short. We're already interested in it when we're going long because we're in buy trades, all right? And we know Joel, his trades are always on the buy. So if you have, you need to watch that risk management on Joel is really good. So we get a buy trade and there's 2 points. I like 3 points. I don't know how big difference is 2 or 3 is. But we get a buy trade. Now, when we get a buy trade here at 8:50, I'll be interested. Let me just see what time we got a trade alert from Joel. That was 8:50 that trade alert came in. And 8:50, I can give these that time. So it's an hour ago. Yeah. Oh, it would be probably around here. So he did a trade on gold at 2682.8 was the entry. And the stop loss was 2671. All right. So 2682.8. 2671. All right. So what I'm going to do, just going to make a note of that. 2682.8 is our entry, EP. Stop loss is 2671 SL. And his TP, he said it at 2685. Okay, 2685 is the take profit. All right, so let's go in here and see exactly what we got. So go to Smart Cash, and 2685 is the TP level, entry level 2682.8. All right, so let's look. We're going to go back to, I'm going to search for commodities and the 5 minute time frame, and we go to gold, and let's have a look. Have a look, my friend. Have a look. So he said 2685. Can I draw on here? Can I draw? I think I can. I think I can. No, I can't. I can't draw. That is Zoom. Yeah. Okay, I've got restricted view here, but I'm going to use the tools in Zoom to make my point. So 2685 is my TP level. So it's 2685. Let's just analyze what Joel's doing here. 2685 is around here. All right, so it's around here. Okay, I need to draw that 2685 around there. So draw a line. Where's the line? Okay, the line. So 2685. Not going to be brilliant, but it's going to be good enough. So that is my, wow, that's big. 2685. That's my take profit level. Wow. I can reduce this. Oh man, STP. Leave it here. It's a bit big. That's my take profit. My entry is 2682. The 2682 is around here, 0.8. So again, I'm going to draw a line there. 2682, roughly right there. 2682, right there. And the stop loss, 2671. So let's just draw that on as well. 2671. It's a lot easier on trading view, which I'm going to show you in a minute. 2671, 2671 down here. Wow, wow, wow. So you're like, so by looking at this, and this is TP1, right? I should have put what TP5 was, because each level is going to be built upon it. So this will be your basic entry level. You're going to copy and paste the entry, you're going to copy and paste the take profit and your stop. So by looking at your stop, it's a lot, right? In comparison to your first TP. Now, what's going to happen is, and this alert, it may be this candle here that he's using. This alert here could be what he's using to place that trade, because it does say 3 hours, so this kind of falls within that time frame. All right, so you've got this. This is the first alert, the buy number 2 there. This one here is the first alert. That's what we got timestamped 3 hours ago at 2680. All right, 2680. Joel is giving an entry at 2682. So when you get entry in the cloud, and this is a candle that's in the cloud, we're not taking that trade. It needs to come out of the cloud before we would even consider taking that trade. Okay, and so it actually gets an alert on this candle, 2680.8. So 2680.8, which is actually that candle. So you see that that's a point scoring of 2. It says that one. Is that the one there? 0.8. Yeah, it's this one, sorry. And we get another, you see this green just on the actual candle. Again, that's another confirmation of that trade. So this is where Joel's gone in and this hit take profit very quick. That you bank that money, and then the other take profits are up here. Your stop loss, the moment you hit your first TP, you're going to move. You're not going to keep your stop loss here. So if you're doing more than one trade, you're going to move your stop right here, all right, so that it's in line to your entry level. So any future trades, you're not going to lose. So now your stop loss is literally up here. So your stop was down there. You've now moved it, and it's in alignment just above where your entry, your EP is. So whatever happens after that, you're free. You don't need to eyeball the trade. You're done. That's the only update you would need to do. And Joel would normally send out a message saying TP1's been hit, and then you can adjust your stop so that every single TP after that, if you do more than TP1, is profit, pure profit. You don't need to worry about anything else. Okay, so that's how you're going to manage the trade on a trade alert. On tap to trade, you're not doing anything. They place the trade, and you place the trade. You hit approve, and then that is it. You're not doing anything to monitor it, eyeball it. You're just doing exactly what you was told to do. Well, not told to do. You're just approving the trade based on you wanting to place that trade on that trader. Okay. So this is just like kind of, I've dissected the an alert on what would happen when you actually, pull the trigger, and you can follow that through in your, trade locker account or your own MT4 account or whatever the case may be, right? So hopefully that is clear. Now I was trying to get into my trade locker account, and every time I entered my two-factor on my account, it's not letting me in. So I don't want to waste no more time. We lost a bit of time today. I'm going to go and show you my approach and what I posted in the chat when we're trading. So just to answer that question, let me just delete all of that. Let me just clear all my drawings. All right. So that is just what the scanner is going to give you, which is fantastic. Let me just check it on a 15-minute. 15 minutes are, again, you get less noise on a 15-minute, but something like a what's it called? A news release like what we had is really what I like to see. Um, again, you can really see 15-minute is kind of a better way of even looking at the market than a 5-minute. 5 minutes really for really ultra scalping. But there's something that happens, and again, this is just my way of trading. When I look at the market, and okay, hold on. Okay, sorry guys, I just had to do something. Okay, come on, seriously. Okay, fantastic. Sorry guys. So this is my approach, right? When I look at these trades, when I and again, you can see on the 15-minute as opposed to a 5 minute, there's a lot less noise. This is if you're gonna be trading these trades yourself. And what I like to do, I'm always a big believer that you don't run after anything, you don't chase anything. Just like a bus, a relationship, you want to be in control. So same approach when it comes to the market, especially when it comes to the market. We're going to look at this on TradingView, but if you was just to look, I showed you on a 5 minute, I showed you on an hour, and the hour, the higher the time frame, just gives you a bigger scope of where are we going on this trade. We know we are only doing buy trades on gold because our trend is going up. And if we were below the cloud, we wouldn't even be doing any buy trades unless you're counter buying. And again, based on whoever you're following, they have their own way of doing it. But for the most part, you want to be trading with the trend. Why try and swim upstream? It's a challenge in itself, right? So just go with the flow. So what I like to do, again, we've got great educators. You can learn from them and what they're doing. I like to take a real simplistic approach when it comes to the market. So this is me, and I'm going to show you on TradingView. Unfortunately, I can't mirror Smart Cash and put it into TradingView on my own chart, but we've got it right here as part of your membership. So you don't need to necessarily do that. What I like to look at is when we get an alert like this. I mean, this it actually said 16 hours ago on that was 5 minutes, right? I can't move this. I can't move it. Let's leave that for now. When we get an alert like this is after the news. Okay, before it, it's a bit dicey because we know in an hour's time, the news is going to come out and it's going to mess up whatever. Like I said, we could be nicely going long in the market. News release comes out, boom, we're tanked. And then even though the news was good, it was positive. We have to wait until the news finishes doing its thing. So we get this alert to say, okay, guys, all the noise is finished. We're now buying. We're going into the market. We've got a buy trade going on, and this is like 8:45 after that big drop. 8:45 candle. I like to see where price comes, tests it, and comes back. So what do I mean? I set an alert for when price comes back to that level. This is my level. Is this top of this candle and the bottom of this candle. All right. So if I draw a line right there, I want price to come in here and then reject. This is what we call the level of support. Okay. So when price goes above it, comes back down, we call it like what we call a break and retest. It's broken above it, it's coming below it, and it's hit it 1, 2, 3 times. That is really strong. Even this time here, like first one time it hit it here twice. You want it for you to identify if it's a strong trend line, strong support. You want it to hit at least 2 times, 3 times, even better. So now we've got a really, it's like it's testing it, and now price has moved off. So it's bounced once, bounced twice, bounced the third time. That's it. It's gone. All right. We don't know how many times it's going to bounce before it takes its move. We are just setting up our trade for a, a 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 risk to reward. So something like this, I would put my stop below the what we call this wick, normal body wick down there. I'll put my entry here, and I'm looking for 1-to-1 risk to reward. If you look at this, we count these blocks. We've got 1, 2, 2.5. So we've got 2.5 blocks. I'm looking to make at least 2.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm risking my 2.5 blocks, and I would have made up to 2 times that. So I want to. That's my risk to reward. I want to look to 1-to-2 or 1-to-3. So if I risk 1,000, I want to make 3. If I risk $50, I want to make 150. That's the kind of thing I'm referring to when I'm talking about risk to reward. And so you could just use the tools that you're given right here to do that very same thing. Okay. And so you don't have to go outside of here to do that in order to make that work. So you've got the cloud, which is a great tool and just lets you help to identify what trend we're in. And you've got the, what's it called? The scanner letting you know we're in a buy trade, we're in a sell trade, and you can take the trade accordingly. Let me delete all of that, clear all my drawings. Okay, so we go, yeah, I'm going to go from here, and I'm going to go to one of the apps we're talking about, TradingView, and let's look at this on the chart. All right, so this is, again, for those of you who want to be trading yourself and or following these trades as they happen, and if I can get into my trade locker, I'll show you on there. So we're almost around the hour mark. Let's just have a look at that trade, because gold is by far the most popular asset that's traded, especially if trading Joels. But you've got to keep in mind when Joel trades, you've got to reduce your risk. Really important. Watch that TTT training that he's done on risk management, so that you're always on the right side of you're not going to lose more than you should do on your trade, because if it does hit stops, it's fine. You're still not going to be badly affected. So let's just have a look here. I'm going to just minimize some of this stuff here, just so that we just can look at price, right? So let me just minimize. Let me just collapse that panel. I'm going to collapse this panel, and just looking at gold on this thing. So similar kind of thing, guys. I'm just doing some analysis earlier, but this is gold on a 15-minute chart. Okay, and I've got a similar thing. I haven't got the same thing, but I've got a similar thing that gives me an alert. And again, this is all free indicators. Gives me alert when price hits a certain parameter. So in this case, well, I know I'm doing buys on gold, so I get an alert, and this alert is actually at 9 o'clock. The one that you had in what's it called, in Smart Cash, is that it was actually around 8:45. So it actually came out prior to this one. But the strategy is the same thing, guys. What I'm looking to do is, when I get an alert come up, my only goal is to set it and forget it. Now you can do this stuff in TradingView. You can't do it in like in the Smart Cash in your back office. So if you ever wanted to do something like this, where I'm not interested in anything but when price comes back to this level, that's all. Like I said, I'm not chasing it, just like a bus, just like a relationship. I'm not interested. I'm only want to be notified when the alert goes off. Okay, so I can get on with my day, can get on with my life, and I don't have to be, utilizing my precious hours watching the chart. That is not a good use of the reason why I'm on the planet. We want to use technology to let us know when it's time to get our game in play. We get our game on, as you can say. So I'm going to just draw around this, just like I did with the smart cash example. And like I said, unlike smart cash, I can't set an alert, but I could do the same thing in smart. Let's actually do this. Actually, let me just do that as I'm talking about it. Actually makes sense to do it like this. So let me go here, because obviously everybody's got this. And 2682, for example, was that candle, which came after non-farm payroll. That alert, we got that alert. You can see it, it's right there, right? So I'm going to mark the chart. Now, my chart may be slightly different. I don't know what each broker has different parameters. So I don't know which broker these settings were set on, but I'm going to use whatever's quite close to it. So this is an 8:45 candle. That's my 9 o'clock candle. That's where I got that while I marked up. But I'm going to use this as close as to the broker that they may be using to mark up these charts. I'm sure in the videos they might talk about it. So 268273, 268273. So 2682, yeah, that's close enough. 268273. That's very close. In fact, it's ideal. All right. So it's exactly the same. So I'm going to mark that up in the same manner. Get rid of that. And so get rid of this one as well. And let's get rid of that. All right. So if I get a trade, this is my smart cash. I'm going to just highlight this. In fact, let me get rid of all of them. Let me get rid of that one. All right. So I'm just going to mark up all of them. And then we'll look at the chart in exactly what we would do. Where is my... look, I've lost it now. I had it and I lost it. Not good to lose it. I had my little rectangular. Is it this one? Yeah, rectangular. So there we go. So this was that candle, same candle. And what I would do, keep that there. Release. What I would do, I said I want to get on with my life. I want to do other things. I don't want to be eyeballing this chart. I'm going to set an alert on this level. So in TradingView, you can click on the right click, and it will set an alert. So it will notify you when price came out. So my goal, I'm not interested in this candle at that point. I'm interested in the candle moved off and came back. And you can see it came back perfectly literally about an hour later. You count it. This one here is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good, but I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in seeing a red candle, price come back into this area, get rejected, and then go. Now you can set what we call a actually I'm not going to go into that. You can literally, yeah, I'm actually going to talk about that. You can set a pending order or a limit order, and a limit order is when price goes down below a level and then it goes up, and you can do that and set it, or you could just be notified, so that if you're at home, you want to be notified when the trade happens, and you can place your trade on gold, or when you see one of the trade alerts come out and they're placing the trade on gold and they buy trade or whatever, you can actually see the reason why they're doing it as well, because we are going long on gold. So, this is kind of giving kind of a bigger, again, a bigger overview, especially when news release comes out, why we would want to wait before we pull the trigger on any asset, anything we're trading. Okay. So let me go back to, I'm going to actually just see some of these trade alerts that have come through. For example, and these trade alerts are, they're spot on, but they will tell you what the parameters are when their trades come out. So let's have a look. We've got trade alert here, and let me see. We got oh yeah, we did this one earlier, right? That's the Joel one. And Joel killed it earlier today. Let's just have a look at the one he did in that was the New York Open. He hit it in London as well. So again, in London session, so he's been trading right throughout. So in London, hit TP2, hit TP3, 140 pips. So again, 2678.15. So 2678.15 is his entry level. Let's have a look at that on the chart, just for clarity's sake. 2678 was 2678.15. Have a look at that. He was doing this in the London session, which would have been around here. So 2678.15. 2678.15. Yeah, is right around here. Right around here. Now, this is a really good level. All right. So what I do, just make this a bit bigger. What I do before I even look at trend, there's many different ways in which you can look at the trend of a market. One thing I've started to do more of is go to a daily time frame. All right. So again, if I look at the daily time frame, what I'm doing is identifying, I'm drawing these lines, okay? And again, the price, this is just literally just waiting for the price of the market to do what it's going to do. So guys, hopefully I'm not going to, over your head or going to into this, but I wanted to make, oh, look at that. I've got a trade alert on gold that I had set earlier. So prime case example. But let's just look at this real quick. Let me dissect this. Before this happened, I did this, right? So what I did, I looked at the previous day's high and low, right? And I marked those levels. Oh, gosh, I've got to turn that off. It's gone right through my ears. So I've marked I don't know why it's still going off like that. So I marked that earlier. And prices, where's price right now? Prices, I can't see where price is. Oh, it's way up here. My gosh, gold is really gone for it. My goodness. So as you can see here, and I was in gold earlier today, and it hit all my TPs, but man, I should have set one up here. That would have been fantastic. Anyway, this is what I did this morning, what I posted in the chat. I marked up my daily, the previous day's body, and the wick. These long lines here is the wick of the candle. That means at one point this was a fully bodied candle, and then the sellers came in and pushed it down, and it ended up at this level. So it started off the day at this level, ended at that level. So it ended up higher than the day before. So I'm marking these points up for when price either goes up above it or below it. All right. And when it does move, that's when I want to be notified. So 2678.35 is a really good level for being notified because price has gone above the previous day's high. So we got this higher high. So that's all I do, guys. It's literally, I set the alert, and let me drop to a 15-minute and I'll show you like how these entry levels are just so solid, right? So again, this move, now I expand it, you can see how big this is, right? So that's that level here where price came in. I've got a buy alert. In fact, this is where this is the smart cash right there. So smart cash is right on the money, guys. So I don't need to do all the analysis whatsoever. Smart cash, I can look to my smart cash and tell me at 8:45, I mark up this candle, price comes back, touches it, and takes off. And again, my risk, if I was to look at these blocks, let me just do it like, yeah, if I look at these blocks, there's 1, 2, 3 blocks, and price actually end up doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So again, I've got a 1 to 2 risk to reward on my money on this trade. The moment it starts going into profit, I move my stop and I've got a risk-free trade on gold. Okay, so that's the analysis that I do. So if you're ever going to use smart cash on a 15-minute time frame or whatever, just look at what on a daily time frame, look at that same asset so that you can kind of see for yourself what's going on. I mean, this guy here is really good. He likes to do swing trading. Swing trading when you hold a trade for for a while, could be days or whatever. And he does his trades on pound pairing and stuff like that. Again, I am going to start really following him. Let's look at a Bitcoin trade and let's call it a day after that. Unless you got any questions, feel free to let me know. We got a Bitcoin trade, a buy trade, which hit 1,500 pips on what was that? Yesterday. So let's just dissect this trade. Our entry, our entry is 93,000, and our stop is 91,000, and our first TP is 93,500. Our maximum is 99,000. Okay, so let's look at how that played out. If I go to Smart Cash, again, you don't necessarily need to do that after you get a trade alert from Joel or whoever. But if you want to kind of get an idea, are you ready to go into that buy? But not, we know, you're going to get, especially with someone like Joel, he has big stops. Excuse me. And you may not want to, have a large stop. But if you know where the price is going, then you can kind of jump in and do something yourself there. So let's have a look. Hit apply on that. All right, so the last trades were really sell trades. I wanted to show the buy. Actually, this is the buy right here. Am I right? No, that's Ripple. Let us look on. Maybe I have to go to 15, 5, 7 minutes ago. That's the Bitcoin. I want to look at the one he did yesterday, but I can't see it. But let's look at it ourselves. So let me just do Bitcoin here. Just type BTC. Whoops, yeah, BTC USD. I'll type a daily, an hour, sorry. And let's just look. Wow, look at that, man. That is fantastic. That is amazing. Right. So I'm going to dissect this in the same manner. Yeah. Well, yeah, Dennis, bots. I mean, I've traded with bots, and bots, typically end up taking your hard-earned money. Because the market's changes. There's so many changes in the market, and somebody needs it. A combination of a bot and real people. Fantastic. Yeah, great combo. Without a doubt, great combo. But so many people try coding bots and stuff. Cannot replace necessarily. I mean, unless you're really talking like high algorithm trading, that's a different ball game. That's very expensive, and the markets are pretty much run by bots. But I'm talking about from a retail trading standpoint, where you buy a bot off eBay or whatever. It's a lot more, so much more to it. So guys, this is the same thing. This is a fantastic setup. So again, if you're looking at, this is probably where Joel did that Bitcoin trade. All right, we're going back. Let me see. Let's go. We're going back to it did say a few days ago, whatever. I can't remember exactly. Maybe 3 days ago. Right, we got a buy alert on Bitcoin. And what was his entry level? I think it was even, no, sorry, it was a bit further back. It was 93,000. It was actually further back on Bitcoin. Yeah, it was further back. It was something like 93,000 on Bitcoin and 91. But that's going way too far back. Anyway, I'm just going to show you on this example. I can't flick back and forth. I should have had another tab open with that, so I can just easily go back and forth. But anyway, let's look at that. Or do I have one open? Yeah, all right, come on. All right, guys, I'm going really long here. I want to wrap this up in a few. So let me just stick to this. Let me just stick to this. Yeah, let's leave that. So let's have a look at this one, for example. If I'm doing this very same thing, if I'm looking at these trade alerts, and of course we can't go back far enough, but there would have been an alert on the 5th. Now, guys, what happened on the 5th, Wednesday? Anybody remember what I just mentioned about that news release? I think I did get the right answer earlier. This is really important. Anybody? Any takers? Any takers? Any thumbs up? No, no. All right. What Dennis mentioned earlier, FOMC, these news that come out, huge news release that comes out, right? And any news release that comes out can pretty much, you can see what's going to happen either there around it or thereafter. All right. So we saw what happened with gold. We were looking at. Let's look at FOMC on. In fact, sorry, it was pound dollar we were looking at, and that was actually even before FOMC. Let's look at FOMC as it happened. So we get this alert that come up, right? Again, I'm not trading what I'm seeing. I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, especially as I'm in the cloud, guys. I'm waiting for price to come out of the cloud and for me to retest it. Okay. So again, I'm gonna just go into TradingView and look at what happened at Bitcoin, and then we can look at how, like, if you're a Bitcoin trader, or if you're somebody who buys Bitcoin or whatever, and you came out of Bitcoin and you're thinking, oh mate, should I go back in or whatever? Hey, this could be what could have got you back in, and ride it out until we get, a chance to come out of Bitcoin or whatever, right? So let's have a look at that. I'm sure it was a sell trade. I'm sure it was a sell trade because I can't remember if it was a buy or sell. But FOMC, this is the first thing I want to do before I close out. We're going to go to FOMC on Bitcoin. So click on BTC, and I'm going to go to 15-minute. Let's just scroll all the way to Wednesday. Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday. 10th today. Shocking. Right. Okay, here we go. Bitcoin. Let's switch back. My bearings. Sorry, it wasn't Wednesday. It was this. You know what? Sorry guys, I'm getting my bearings well off key here. This is the same, it's the right time, but it's the 5th. This is actually last week. My goodness. 6. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm way off. This week has all been sells. Bitcoin has been in a massive sell-off. So let's just work with this week. I've gone way too far. And FOMC was the 8th. And even around the 8th, we did get an alert around, that was a bit later on, we got an alert. So let me just stick with this. This is on the 7th. So that was Tuesday. I know that much. So we had this big candle broke down into, at this point, we're only looking for sells on Bitcoin, right? We're not looking for buys, of course. We are below the cloud, below these two lines here. And again, there's rules around this, but I'm just going to cut to the chase. So that's at 10 o'clock in the morning. This candle happened. And we got the alert, the sell candle right there. So at around 12 o'clock. So we got, and again, confirmation of these sells happened. Again, we mark up this candle, which is what I like to do. I like to mark up the candle. And if I make this a bit bigger, we didn't get a massive retracement coming back in, but we got enough of a retracement. Someone's calling me when. Right, we got this candle. Price came back in. So it came up to 97. So we got this candle. Let me just show you. It was at 97718.303. Okay. We got the next candle. We had this wick coming back into this space. So I would have drawn a box around here. And we had this nice drop off on BTC. If we had gone to our trend analysis, we would have probably seen Bitcoin all red, giving us a sell-off signal. Okay. And right now, if I go back to trend analysis and I look at Bitcoin, I know it's probably not going to be the same. But that was from earlier in the week. We had Bitcoin. Now now we're getting a bit of an uptrend going on. So this is important. This is actually quite interesting to note. We have the buy trade going on Bitcoin because we had some strong uptrend going on. Prior to that, we had a sell-off. And I just want to go back to that trade that Joel did because I was looking, I was thinking I was getting direction wrong. So if I look at trade alert and I look at the trade from Joel, let me just get that right. It was a Bitcoin trade at 93,650. Yeah. All right. And the stop loss was 9,100. Okay. And that was literally 15 hours ago. So it was yesterday, right? 93,650. Let me go here. So he had a buy trade. That was yesterday, right? Thursday. Yeah. So let's look at Thursday's trades. These are today's trade, Thursdays. So we had a bit of a buy action. Um, you can see here. So that was the move as Bitcoin changed direction, where he put a 93, where is it? 93, six around here. Like I said, my candles are similar in nature, where he did a buy trade. The stop loss would have been all the way down here, and I can see why, because you see that 91,000 level. That 91,000 level is where I would have marked for the previous days. So if you look at my daily, if I go to the daily time frame, let's just go to exactly what I'm talking about. I would have marked the highs and I would have marked the lows of Bitcoin the day before. Up to that point, from the beginning of the week, Bitcoin has just been in a free fall, right? Came right down and it's come back to this level. And guys, if you look at when I'm talking about support and resistance lines, if you look at where we were just before the new year, Bitcoin had, started to make its descent and it stopped at 92,000. Beginning of the week, we had, and this is the big Christmas week going into the new year, we had a bit of a rally cry where Bitcoin went up. This is Monday's chart trade. Then for the week, we came right back down to this level. It's not coincidence that we came back down to this level. These are support levels. These are strong levels. These are weekly levels in the market. And so it came back to retest it and then took off again. So by looking at what Bitcoin is doing on a daily time frame, you can just kind of get to see the picture of where it dropped, where it came up. All right, and how far down are we going to go? I mean, this is a huge drop. There's different reversal patterns around this, but just coming back to where we were the week before Christmas, and now it's tested that level, and now it's done the same move where it's engulfed the previous day's candle. But all we're doing, we're just marking up the highs and the lows. All right, the highs and the lows. When it hits this level, 94,477, I'm interested. I'm very interested when it gets to cross the previous day's high, and I mark it on a 15-minute time frame. I drop down to a 15-minute, and I execute normally on a 5-minute, but just for the example here, this is the candle, guys. This is the point where I'm very interested in, is where price starts to break. Now, if I expand this, you see how big a move this is. Where price starts to break that day's previous high, it's broken above it on the 15-minute. I just get an alert, lets me know. I get an alert here. You see, this is my buy candle. If I mark this candle by way of drawing a rectangular, that's all I'm interested in doing. I'm drawing that. Oops, I'm drawing that around the 15-minute. And if you don't fully get this, is just rewatch this. And that's all these guys, when we're looking at the markets, we're not looking to predict, we're not guessing, we're not gambling. We're looking for price to retest every time. If it's a zone like this, don't forget, this is the previous day's high, this line here. Can you see how many times it tried to break that previous day's high? It tested it here. We've got this long wick. That means the body at one point went above it. and it closed below it. So it tried it. This is strong resistance at this level. It tried it again, second time. It couldn't break above it. It tried it the third time, couldn't break above it. Now we're going into Friday. This is, leading into Friday morning. It's now we've gone into Friday session. Look at Bitcoin go, guys. We've now broken above. Now I've got an alert. It's broken my next entry level. Whoa. So now it's hit the high of the previous day's wick. If I just go to a daily, or maybe look to get into on this trade. The wick on the previous days is now hit it, is now exceeded it. I'm now very interested in taking a trade on this in a minute or two. Certain things have to just kind of plan out. I would have been interested way before that if I really paid attention to what was going on while I was doing this doing this call. This would have been a really good setup on Bitcoin to go long, but it's fine. That is now what I want to see. It's broken that previous day's high, and now Bitcoin, by all intents and purposes, you may start getting trade alerts from the educators to go long on Bitcoin up to 99,000. Now, Joel has already had a TP set to 99,000. I think it's TP5, which is up here. Yeah, so he's already marked this trade up, and if, I don't know if this, is exactly the same trade. Looks like it is. He marked this trade up from 93,600 on Bitcoin, which is why I think he said TP1 and stuff already got hit, and now, it's on its way. I don't know what the other TP levels are. We can look at that right now, and then see. But for me, if I was to enter in on this, I would wait for this candle to play out. I want price to come and draw back, yeah, and on that level. Let's just see what he had on Bitcoin. He had, this was the swing trade. TP2 hit. So TP2 was 94,500. TP3 is 95,500. TP4 is net 97,000. So let's just look at that on the chart. So 95,500, he's hit that TP. The next one is 97. You can see these orange lines on my chart, guys. These are pivot levels. It's an indicator, and it lets you know different levels where price is looking to go. So again, 97,000 is where he's looking to go. I would be looking for that as well. And 99,000 he's got up here. So by all means, this trade can easily swing and hit up there if you went into it from yesterday. But again, this is a good entry. I'm personally going to set an alert when price comes back. If it comes back, which I'm expecting it to come back and hit this level, I've set an alert for price to come back down and on the next candle or so before I go in. All right, so let me just make this a bit bigger. So this is the move I'm always looking for, guys, especially around these particular levels. Yeah, I'm looking for price to break above it. So do a move like that. And we'll just change the color there. I'm looking for it to do a move like that. And then I want it to come down, retrace, and then I want to go. That's always I'm looking for. So you see that red candle, I want it to come down here before I even think about going in and taking that trade. So what's going on there? And that's where I'm looking for it to go from there and hitting the next level. So come down, go up. All right. Similar thing with this one. Did the same thing. This candle, I mean, this candle was very bullish for one candle. It just broke. It didn't even do the break and retest. It literally went. But that's what I'm looking for that. If I go back even further, can I go back even further? Yeah, I can. Yeah. So each time a particular zone or level gets hit, price comes down, gets rejected, and got rejected there, came back down and came back down. Wow. Gosh, right through my ears. Right. 94. Can you see that in real time? 95,405.68. Price came back, and I'm looking more now. Once this candle's either finished or wicked off, I'm going to look to get in at that level to place a Bitcoin trade. Now, at this point, I want to drop to a 5-minute chart, and that's where I'm going to kind of look to get in on a bit of a better entry level. But I am very interested on a 5-minute as to what this is going to do. So one more thing that I closed earlier, and I like to use this when I trade different asset classes, but I cannot see it right now, is my RSI. All right, so I'm just going to add that to the chart real quick. Oh yeah, you know what it is. That's fine. That's fine. Let me go on here. Let me leave that on a 15-minute time frame. All right, it's on a 15-minute. Let me go back to 15-minute on Bitcoin. It's getting rejection. Can you see it's getting rejected off this level, which is what I'm expecting to happen. And if I go to Bitcoin on a 5-minute chart, let's just have a look on a 5-minute as to what that looks like. So here on a 5-minute, we are looking pretty good. I do have this indicator, which I want to now bring into view. It's RSI. It's just showing us, again, it's showing us on a scalping standpoint where we can get in on an entry. But I do like this, so I'm gonna wait for this candle to finish on a 5-minute, and then I'm gonna look to place a buy trade on this trade. Guys, it's way over the hour, but I'm hoping that the time just helps and analyze or give a better picture of what we're doing when we get these trades that come in. Because it's all about the trend, guys. It's all about the trend. Just get the trend right, practice it. And then when these trade alerts come in and it doesn't seem quite right, why are we taking this trade? Question it. And if it's in the direction of your trend, you're like, yes, that's confirmation. I knew we were doing buy trades. Now he sent a buy trade. Perfect. I'm getting it. I understand why we're doing it, but we're just bit by bit. We're looking from the 50,000 view down first to see what direction are we going in today. What levels are we looking to hit today? And once we hit those levels, boom, we can start pulling the trigger. Okay. So I'm very interested in this Bitcoin trade. And if I did put an entry on it on the next candle, in fact, this candle would have been a good candle anyway, but I want to see this play out. I've got another 30 seconds before this plays out. And I'll be looking potentially to do a long trade on the next candle. And my take profit level will be up here. And I would put a stop below here. So, and adjust it in accordance. So we'll see. We'll see where we go with this one. And then I will close out and edit this recording so that it's not as long as it's been. So thanks for your time, guys. Any questions before we wrap up? No, and well done for those of you still hanging in there. Okay, so it's still coming back to test. So if it goes back and rejects it, which is what I like to see, I do want to see that. I'm actually going to place a trade as we speak. I can't get into my demo account, guys. I'm doing it on my phone. I'm going to use this opportunity, and I'll let you guys know if you want to test this trade with me. Use the very smallest lot size. You're trading Bitcoin, and Bitcoin spread on Trade Locker can be quite big. But yeah, if you want to follow through with this, I want to see this getting rejected off that level, which it's doing. And I don't mind if it goes below it, fair enough. But I like this rejection. And so I'm looking to go long on this trade. And like I said, I'll let you know how it pans out. Thanks, guys, for your time. We will catch up another time. And we will make this money together. Fancy my trade now. All right. Take care. and I'll see you in the groups. Cheers, guys.